Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this. Today, we're breaking down the action-packed, deeply emotional, and honestly, incredibly relatable story of Velaiyilla Pattathari, better known as VIP. Now, this isn't just your standard popcorn flick. It's actually a really fascinating exploration of a massive socioeconomic reality. We're talking about ambition, the absolutely crushing weight of societal expectations, and the ultimate triumph of the underdog. So grab a seat because we're going to look at how this one story perfectly captures the heartbeat of a struggling generation.
Right off the bat, there's a core question that really grounds our entire explainer today. In the source material, we're presented with a pretty harsh reality. Hundreds of thousands of engineers graduate every single year. But, what happens to the ones who flat out refuse to just take any random job? What about the folks who want to work in the core field they actually spent 4 grueling years studying for? This is the struggle of the unemployed youth who absolutely refuse to settle for less, choosing instead to hold out for an opportunity that actually respects their talent.
Section 1. The Story of the Unemployed Engineer. So meet our protagonist, Raghu Varan. He's a civil engineer who has spent the last 4 years refusing to just settle for some random desk job. He gets these offers from IT companies and call centers, but he stubbornly rejects them. Why? Because he wants to build buildings. To him, taking a desk job just for a paycheck would literally mean killing the engineer inside him. And honestly, his situation perfectly illustrates the sheer scale of a massive problem. There's a really powerful moment in the source where it's pointed out that out of over 300 engineering colleges in the state, a staggering 5 lakh or 500,000 students graduate every single year. But out of those 500,000 students, only a tiny fraction, sometimes as low as 400, actually land proper jobs in their field. That leaves thousands upon thousands of highly educated, capable people like Raghu totally stranded, frustrated, and unfairly branded as useless by society.
And man, this frustration is amplified at home. On one side, you've got Raghu, unemployed for 4 years, constantly scolded by his dad and mocked as a total burden. Then, on the other side, is his younger brother, Karthik. Karthik works in IT, pulls in a massive 1 lakh rupees a month, and just bought a brand new car. Raghu's father constantly compares the two, treating Karthik with immense respect while treating Raghu like an absolute failure. The domestic conflict is intense, and that heavy paternal disappointment is something Raghu just has to swallow every single day.
Which brings us to Section 2, Family, and a tragic turn.
Amidst all those daily insults, Raghu's only real pillar of support is his mother. She's the one intercepting his father's scoldings, sneaking in pocket money, and she genuinely believes her son is incredibly talented. But then, a tragic sequence of events unfolds. Raghu gets into this massive, bitter argument with his parents about money and respect, and he just feels completely worthless. He storms out of the house in a rage. Later that same day, his mother suddenly collapses from a heart attack. She calls his phone repeatedly, but Raghu, still totally blinded by his own anger from the fight, looks at his phone and deliberately ignores her calls. And because he ignored those calls, he misses the chance to save her, and she tragically passes away.
The guilt is just absolute. Raghu completely breaks down, uttering these absolutely heartbreaking words. "I killed you. If I had picked up the phone, you would be alive." This right here is the turning point of our entire explainer. This profound tragedy completely shatters him. It marks the definitive end of his wandering, aimless youth. The sheer, crushing weight of this loss actually becomes the catalyst for his transformation into a focused, responsible adult who just wants to make his mother proud.
Section 3. Flight of Dreams.
So, how does he channel all that grief? Well, in an incredible twist of fate, his mother's donated organs end up saving the daughter of a major construction chairman. This chairman learns about Raghu's passion and actually offers him a job. And we're not talking about some small entry-level gig here. Raghu is handed the reins to a massive 200 crore rupee government slum clearance project. The firm's chairman wants this done flawlessly, not for the profit, but for the reputation. Think about that. Raghu, a guy who was begging just to build a small hut a few months ago, is now in charge of a multi-core project building safe, high-rise apartments for the city's poorest residents. Talk about a step up.
But almost immediately, Raghu's unyielding integrity is put to the test. The government-mandated suppliers send over these completely substandard, terrible quality bricks and cement. They totally expect Raghu to just accept it, take a bribe, and look the other way because, hey, that's the norm, right? But Raghu outright refuses. He points out that if even a minor earthquake hits, the building is going to collapse and kill the residents. He insists that the poor deserve safe, high-quality homes, completely rejecting the corrupt corporate norm.
Section 4. Direct clash with the rich builder.
Now,
taking this honest stance puts him on a direct collision course with our antagonist, Arun Subramoniam. Arun is this arrogant, privileged builder whose family is used to controlling all the major government contracts. So he is absolutely furious that this massive project went to a nobody like Raghu. It really becomes the ultimate battle of ideologies. You've got Raghu, the self-made underdog who values hard work, fights for the poor, and knows the value of a single rupee. And against him is Arun, a guy handed inherited privilege who uses bribes, intimidation, and outright violence to get his way, prioritizing his own profit over human lives. It is raw passion versus corrupt entitlement.
And Arun, he plays dirty. He initiates some incredibly aggressive sabotage tactics just to make sure Raghu misses his deadline. First off, he secretly alters the architectural plans for the 7th Division, which causes millions in structural damages. Next, he bribes all the laborers, literally offering them double their salary to just completely abandon Raghu's site. And when that somehow isn't enough, Arun sends armed goons to the construction site to violently assault Raghu's engineers, putting them straight into the intensive care unit. Section 5. Power of the VIP Group.
So now, Raghu is pushed to the absolute edge. He's standing on an empty construction site, his team is in the hospital, the deadline is rapidly approaching, and his higher-ups are totally panicking. Arun thinks he's completely won. So I want you to think about this for a second. How do you finish a 200 crore project without a single laborer? Traditional methods are out the window. He can't outbribe a billionaire antagonist. He needs a totally modern, out-of-the-box solution to counter Arun's immense wealth and power.
And here is his brilliant, modern solution. Raghu turns to social media. He makes a passionate Facebook post explaining the whole situation and pleading for help. He mobilizes the VIP network, the Velaiyilla Pattathari, the unemployed graduates group he spent years chatting with online. And suddenly, hundreds of unemployed mechanical, electrical, and civil engineers just show up at the site. They roll up their sleeves and unite to do the heavy lifting themselves. They literally build the project manually, proving the incredible, totally untapped power of united youth.
Section 6. Victory of the Real Engineer.
With the project saved by the sheer willpower of the VIPs, Raghu marches straight into the belly of the beast to confront Arun and his powerful father. Now, Arun's dad boasts that he has all the money and power in the world and that a street-level engineer can never touch him. But Raghu doesn't just go in throwing punches. He uses his brain. He walks into their office equipped with a signal jammer that completely blocks their security feeds. He's wearing a hidden HD camera, and he strategically goads Arun's father into boasting and confessing to the sabotage and the violent attacks. Once he has that recording, he hits them with an ultimatum. He's going to upload the confession to YouTube and hand it over to the press unless Arun comes down to the hospital and apologizes to the injured workers. Absolute checkmate.
But before he walks out, Raghu delivers this incredibly powerful, defining monologue. He looks right at these corrupt billionaires and tells them, society calls us unemployed, but they don't see the years of hard work, the massive loans, the mothers pledging their jewelry, and the sacrifices we make just to get a degree. He forces them to actually recognize the immense struggle of the middle-class student. He demands respect for the youth who are fighting tooth and nail for their rightful place in the world, rather than just waiting around for handouts.
And honestly, that brilliantly illustrates exactly why this story resonates so deeply with so many people. It really challenges our own perceptions. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought today. The next time you meet an unemployed graduate, are you going to see a failure? Or will you see an immense, untapped opportunity just waiting for the right platform to build something incredible? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll see you next time.